Hey, Billy Bob here. It's Monday morning quarterback, college edition. I'm going to do something a little different today than the normal, just running down some schools and some games. Basically, what we've had is bowl games, a lot of them. And, there's always the controversy, right? How many bowl games do we need? Oh, we got too many bowl games. And it's not really the fans saying that, it's the media, right? But the media perpetrates all these bowl games because they have the TV rights to them and they sell sponsorships and they actually make money on most of these bowl games. Because even though it's the smaller games, people are still watching. Now, talking about the smaller games, I am not a fan of a bowl game just to have a bowl game when you're going to put a 5-7 team in there. I think 6-6 is borderline, but you know what? They didn't have a losing record. But 5-7, and the excuse is, well, we let a 5-7 team in because the other team opted out, or we didn't have enough teams, so we had to offer it to a 5. If you don't have enough teams, then I say you have too many bowl games. Now, today at the gym, ironically, today at the gym at Planet Fitness, Jim said to me, was talking to Mark and I, and he says, like, well, who cares? Some of these people or games and people don't care about them. The only people that care are the fans. Well, that is true for the most part as far as going to the game. But you know what? Sometimes that's the first time a team has ever gone to a bowl game, and those fans are willing to travel and willing to go to the game. And even let's take two teams that had disappointing seasons, highly disappointing seasons. Penn State and Clemson. But they played at the Pinstripe Bowl in New York City. Now there are people that want to go to New York City, see the lights, see the snow, and they actually did have snow. And it's 9 degrees. Now they freeze their butts off, but they went there, and I think they had 27,000. Is that great for those two teams? No. But you're in a stadium that only holds maybe 30 or 35. I don't know what Yankee Stadium holds. And then there's the Fenway Bowl but bowl games down in Florida, the Citrus Bowl committee has done a really good job because they have like 3 or 4 bowl games now, and they're really getting the use out of that stadium. And they got some good games too. The Cheez-Its Bowl, Cheez-Its Citrus Bowl, the Cure Bowl, the Tony the Tiger, not Tony the Tiger, the Pop-Tarts Bowl. By the way, speaking of opting out, did I not see that Strawberry Sprinkles opted out of the toasting at the end of that game? He passed. And I know it's not the real mascots, but the mascots go down in the toaster, and then out the bottom of the toaster come these huge Pop-Tarts, and the teams actually eat them. So, fun stuff. So some of these bowl games, they have fun things, like the Bad Boy Mower Bowl. The winning coach, he got, maybe, was that the Pinstripe? No, that's the Pinstripe Bad Boy Mower. Was it all one? Maybe it was. We'll find out here in a minute. But they dumped grass clippings instead of Gatorade or Duke's mayonnaise all over the coach. So, but let's take a look at this. We might touch on a bowl game here or there, but overall, I was looking at, which they talk about every year, what each conference has done so far, and there's still quite a few more games to play, but what each conference has done so far with their bowl record. And there's a lot of conferences. We'll go through them pretty quick here. The American Conference, the AAC, they're 4-3. The ACC 4-4, which is a heck of a lot better than they did last year. Last year, I think they were 2-11, Right now they're 4-4. The Big 12 is 2-0. The Big 10's 5-0. The MAC 2-3. Mountain West 2-5. And the Sun Bowl 2-4. And the SEC is actually 2-4. Well, so we'll take a small deep dive into this, right? So the American Conference, their wins, they had some good wins. Old Dominion beat South Florida. USF lost their coach, I get it, but they lost the game to Old Dominion 24-10. That was the Cure Bowl. That's in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl. And then you had UTSA. They beat FIU. I don't know what their record was, but I don't think they're that good. East Carolina. Now this was an upset. East Carolina in the Military Bowl beats Pitt 23-17. Most everybody picked Pitt in that game. Army, nice way to finish the season against UConn, 41-16. That was in the previously referenced Fenway Bowl. And then North Texas, they're number 25. They didn't make it into the tournament, the playoff. But they handled San Diego State 49-47. That was in the New Mexico Bowl. Hold on one second. Oh, have to get that to you later. The OHIO Podcast Boys are doing a live tailgating show. My understanding is it's tomorrow. Probably Eric was just texting me here and I couldn't see it. I think YouTube and Patreon, the Patreon channel. If you haven't joined that, join it. You can join for free, or you can join the OHIO podcast to watch either for free, but you get additional content, insider info. If you join up, I think it's $5 a month. The American got a couple games left to play. Rice versus Texas State, and Navy versus Cincinnati, who, by the way, is losing their quarterback at the end of the year to the transfer portal. So the ACC, as I told you, they had last year they were 2-11, and this year they're 4-4. You know, they've had Louisville won. Louisville beat Toledo. They had Miami beat Texas A&M in the first round of the playoff, and they had NC State beat Memphis. There's one other win. Oh, Virginia beats Missouri. And, you know, just to touch on what you see is the, the SEC is, 2-4. The teams that have played so far are middle. They're not the bottom of the SEC. They're kind of the middle. And the middle teams aren't winning against non-SEC opponents. Hence, the Virginia Cavaliers, who were in the ACC championship game. Here they beat Missouri in the Gator Bowl. And, you know, you look at Missouri, and they have not beat a team with a winning record this year. So they beat like Central Arkansas and Louisiana and a few, not LSU Louisiana, but Louisiana. So matter of fact, let's see, who do their wins here real quick. Yeah, Central Arkansas, Kansas, who was 5-7 this year, Louisiana, South Carolina, who was 4-8, UMass. I have no idea what UMass's record is, but come on, UMass, the Minutemen, Auburn. They beat Auburn. Auburn's record's 5-7, and then they beat Mississippi State 5-7, and they beat Arkansas 2-10. So, you know, just because you play in the SEC doesn't mean you're going to beat whoever you're playing, a non-SEC team, right? And then we could look at the Big 12. They're 2-0 right now. BYU beat Georgia Tech. BYU, you know, finished strong. 2 losses, both to Texas Tech. but they beat Georgia Tech. That's the Pop Tarts Bowl I was telling you about. And then Houston, here we go, another LSU, another SEC team, middle of the pack. LSU, yes, they had a coaching change, rightfully so, but number 21 Houston beats them 38-35. And, they got some upcoming games here that'll be interesting. TCU versus Southern Cal, Arizona State versus Duke, Utah, Nebraska. Utah they'll have their new coach. The guy who was the coach in waiting. I forgot what his name is. But Kyle Whittingham went to the Wolverines. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I know they're all hyped up and talking about how they're Michigan men. Please. But the Big 12, they got Navy and Cincinnati left. Big 10, 5-0. Washington beat Boise State. Oregon beat James Madison, first round of playoff. Northwestern beat Central Michigan. Minnesota beat New Mexico. And Penn State, as I told you, beat Clemson. So there's some good games. There's some interesting Big 10 SEC games coming up. Indiana, Alabama, the biggest of them in the playoffs. But Iowa plays Vandy. The Wolverines play Texas. And so we'll see how that goes. The SEC, let's go down here real quick. We know Bama beat Oklahoma, but that's kind of like a double whammy, right? You got a win and a loss because they're both in the SEC. Texas A&M goes down to Miami. Ole Miss beats Tulane, playoff game. Missouri loses, LSU loses, right? So interesting. Let's take a real quick look because I thought we were a lot further along than that time-wise. That's enough of that. Let's take a look at last year's record. So the American Conference last year, they had 8 teams in. They're 6-2. The ACC, I told you, they were woeful. 13 teams in, 2-11. The Big 12 says they had 8 teams in, but they were 4-5. My guess is, I'm trying to think what my guess is. Did Texas play before? No, yeah. So Texas played 8 teams in, but they played 9 games because Texas was in the playoff. The Big 10 had 12 teams in, but they were 11-6 again because of playoff scenarios. Conference USA 1-4, the MAC 5-2, the PAC, and the SEC was actually 8-7. So it's the way it rolls. So that's an abbreviated 13 minutes. Abbreviated Monday morning quarterback college edition. As I said, the OHIO podcast, check out their YouTube channel or Patreon. Look for times. Let's see if maybe I can pull this up here. Let me see what we can do. Because it was on Messenger. So if I go to my Facebook page, come on. Why am I not logged in? Okay. Hey. How could this be? Wants me to log in. Hey. Try a different way. Hope you had a great Sunday fun day. I did. Watch some football. Browns won. Bengals won. We'll talk about that tomorrow. NFL edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. Come on. Here we go. Now we're maybe making a little progress here. Let's see. Looks like YouTube probably going to be about 6 p.m. tomorrow. OHIO podcast, tailgate party for the Ohio State Miami game. We'll probably review stuff, but I'm not going to go up against those guys. We have a lot of the same listeners, a lot of the same people watching, and members of a group. So we'll let them do that, and maybe we'll do something Wednesday. We'll see. If not, we'll do something else tomorrow. It's okay. America, land of the free, because of the brave. Stay focused, America. Billy Bob, peace out.